So this evening, I am going to be joined by Mr. Timmy Gatling, who was the founding member of the R&B group Guy. Got a copy of their CD here. They came out with the Smash It Groove Me, which changed the music game. And but just before the record really came out and blew up, he departed the group, and most of us didn't understand why. And he has gone on to be a successful recording artist and a producer. So we're going to hear his story and bring him in right now. Casino. Okay. Well, good evening. It's really great. It's a privilege and an honor to finally get to speak to you and have you on our show.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very good, thank you. I'm doing very good. It's one of those mysteries, like, the Bermuda Triangle, Area 51, for the New Jack Swing fans, and it's one of the things that your album did was create a genre of fans. So you've got Elvis fans, you've got Michael fans, you've got New Jack Swing fans, and very loyal fans. They just stick to the genre of the music. We know all the writers and producers and everything. But it was, I can remember getting my album and seeing the three of you here. But when the video came out, I was like, okay. And I was living in the UK at the time. We had Black Beat and Right On, but we didn't get all the gist. So, and you've been quiet for a long time, so most of us didn't get to hear your story. So it's almost a privilege for us to be able to.
Now, where are you calling from? Overseas,
I'm in England.
Oh, you in England?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm in England.
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm in England. So, but even across from England, I went to college in the US. Even across the UK, loads of people have been really curious about the group and stuff, but we'll get to there. And we've got loads of questions from people from Japan, South Korea, from Nigerian stuff, who asked questions about they wanted to find.
Wow.
Yeah, but I wanted to really go to the very beginning, because it must be the music. It's like, how did you get into the music? I mean, how did you where did you learn how to write, produce? I mean, even love the music?
Well, it was basically a gift from God. We started out very young. Teddy and I lived 5 blocks from each other, and 3 avenues over. So
in New York, I would assume
it was just a passion. It was just a passion. It was something that we were self-taught. So observing other musicians and just being excited about different bands that was coming out at the time. We were so young and so little. People really didn't take us serious at first because we were so young.
Yeah.
But and then we just taught ourselves how to read music. It was amazing. We knew that there was a vast and broad education as far as learning music and learning, the notes and learning different chord structures.
Wow.
And so we took it very, very serious. But it was self-taught.
So why music? I mean, because a lot of us who don't live in the US would think, wow, you guys have basketball, baseball, hockey, you've got all this stuff. Why particularly music? I mean, it's,
Well, we did play all that stuff, but we played in, Little League, baseball, Little League basketball. It's just that when we were coming up, growing up in the late 70s, and it was there. Our parents played music in the house.
Okay.
You go outside, you listen to music. You had DJs playing in the park, so music was always a constant.
Yeah.
In our lives, in our neighborhoods.
And did you ever think, well, we could make this happen, or was it just for fun at the time when you were playing?
We were always serious.
Okay.
We were serious about everything we did. It's funny because there are so many other members that came. It wasn't just us. There's so many other members that came along with us that were older,
okay,
and some were younger. But I think the nucleus of the group, the nucleus of the band, myself, Teddy, and Clarell, we took it, and a friend of ours named George Cedric, we call him Swire, but he died of leukemia.
Oh, God.
And then we had a drummer, Pee Wee, a very good looking guy. He got killed.
Wow.
So even though we grew up in that nucleus, it was in the hood, so it was dangerous. You stepped outside of the structure, or you was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wow.
With no protection, you still could get it. You still could get into deep trouble.
So, and when you guys were coming up, what was, because we all hear about New York, about hip hop really being really big there, but for you guys as a young group, who were you looking to and thinking we could be like them if we worked harder?
Well, the Gap Band,
Wow.
Temptation,
Wow.
Earth, Wind and Fire, the Jacksons, of course, watching Soul Train and American Bandstand and the Midnight Special, which came on in the U.S. at 12 o'clock midnight. We got to see bands because we couldn't even afford concerts and stuff. We were too young to even think about going to concerts.
Yeah.
But watching all that, things that we had access to, we always watched and studied. Wow.
And so we know, I mean, as I said, New Jack fans will know about Kids at Work. Now, how did that come about? That's one of the questions that people ask about. How did that Kids at Work, the name, and let's just put stuff together?
Well, we didn't come up with the name. We didn't come up with the name, the concept, or anything. Teddy and I were kids together, so we always was in bands together, coming up. So Teddy also used to play with this older band in basically, young, older clubs, speakeasies. And so in those clubs, you had basically administrators, you had A&R people, you had drug sellers, everybody was mingling together. Well, he met Gene Griffin first, and Gene Griffin at the time had Sounds of New York Records, which the group In Deep was on. Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. Okay, yeah, I know. And so he was looking, right. He was looking for a young kiddie group, even though we wasn't kids at the time. I think we were like, by that time we was like 15, 16. I was 16 turning 17, and Clarell was 18. So he was looking for this group, and Teddy called me and asked me to come down to 59th and Columbus Circle because he think he got a deal for us. Well, when we went down there, we went to 59th Street, and it was Gene Griffin's office. And he immediately saw us, looked at us up and down, asked us to sing a little bit. We did that. And immediately he said, okay, I'm going to sign you guys. But we didn't know anything about publishing or anything. We were just happy to finally get a record deal. But without your parents, without lawyers, did you get your parents? No, none of that. Because our parents were different. Our parents was like, at that particular time, Teddy Riley's mother did. Mrs. Riley was very supportive and whatever. My mother was different. It was like, she was a beautiful mom, but she was like, okay, that's a far-fetched dream. Get a job. Get a summer job. And I was like, it wasn't regular job, get a summer job. Okay. So, they didn't believe it until they actually saw it. And there's so many levels to this business. Like, you can still have a record deal and still be on the cover of a record and still don't own or have no money. So it was that situation. Wow. Now, you jumped a little bit. What the singing parts, how did you, because it's one thing you learned about playing the music, but what about the singing? Did you go for vocal training, or what did you do? Well, with Gene Griffin we did. Oh, before even though we didn't. Yeah, even though we naturally have raw talent, but Gene gave us, sent us the vocal coaches. We have vocal teachers. We didn't need nobody to tell us how to dance and play. Okay. Because immediately Teddy, even at such a young age, it was automatic. Teddy basically played keyboards and constructed. I was made to play bass and sing and dance, and Clarell was the lead singer. So even then, it was already, suggested what each of our positions was. And so I was left to having to write all of the lyrics.
Wow.
Because I just did that anyway. And Teddy was arranger, keyboard player, co-producer, and Clarell was co-producer and singer, lead singer.
Okay, so you've just pretty much said you were writing lyrics. Now, how does that come about? Did you go to school for that? Because we can't all write songs. How did you learn that?
By just loving, even though I came from the rough area, when I would have alone time, I would read books like Edgar Allan Poe. I would read books like the Lansbury. I would read books like, I love poetry. I love words that can play off each other. I've always done that. So it came real easy to me to write. It's a gift. It just was easy for me to just write real quick and from my heart. I just, connected to, okay, if I feel this way, whatever I'm feeling, I was able to relate it on paper.
So, I guess that complements, because you talk about Teddy being really gifted with the keyboards and arrangements. Did the songs, the lyrics come first, or how did you guys collaborate when you were doing the Kids at Work album?
Well, Kids at Work, lyrics came first.
Okay.
Because I literally had 3 to 4 weeks to write it.
An album.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like young kids, but the pressure was put on us immediately. So because we were trying to get Gene at the time, not we, but Gene at the time with his label was getting a distribution deal through Sony.
Okay.
And so Sony, they wanted to be ready Gene wanted us to be ready when whatever major label came, he wanted us to be ready and already have the songs and stuff in the can. Wow. So we immediately went at it. So we had like 3 to 4 weeks to really write the song. And in Kids at Work case, lyrics came first. Teddy heard it. Teddy put the music to it. I put the bass lines on songs because I wrote a lot of lyrics by playing my bass at the time because I couldn't play keyboards then.
Okay.
So, and then we rehearsed, translated it to Clarell. Clarell picked it up, and the song was made. Wow.
And so you guys, the studio, what about the studio? As young kids, had you been in studios? Did you know how to do the recording, that whole process?
No, well, we didn't executive produce or produce the first Kids at Work record. Orville Gilchrist, from an older group that Gene had, we was pissed. We was, because we thought we was gonna produce ourselves and play, but that wasn't the case.
But did you guys have the ability to do that though? Did you know how to work the studios and do that production side at that stage?
No, Teddy had a little bit of that because we was going in the new phase then. We was going in a new era then, but we collectively really didn't know. We were young. We really didn't know. We thought we did, but we learned a lot from Orville Gilchrist, even though we were upset that we didn't have a bigger part in the producing.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from how, the 24 track, the 48 track board, how to, the knobs, the EQ, all of that work.
So, and that laid the foundation, that experience, I know that the album didn't do as well as you expected and stuff. What was the...
It didn't do well at all.
Well, New Edition after that time.
Yeah, well, New Edition, matter of fact, locally we were popular. Because we performed in Roxbury, Boston.
Wow.
And Bobby Brown and Mike, they came backstage.
Oh, you must. You were that young. Wow.
Yeah. And we headlined. We sold it out. And
wow.
We had, and that was the experience we had because we had girls, we couldn't even get in, we was in a limousine. We couldn't even get into the place because they was rocking the car. They wouldn't let us out the car. They was screaming. Because locally, on the East Coast, we were very popular, even though we had a half of a hit, which was singing Hey Yeah. But these kids knew all of the songs. I guess because they were so used to New Edition, they were waiting
for something else,
for someone to have competition.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, Bobby and Mike came backstage and said, wow, because they never seen, they thought they had it locked down, but we played live.
Wow.
So we played instruments and dancing and singing legitimately. Wow. Even though we didn't hit, we had that on lock.
What do you think, looking back, and especially now with your career, what do you think what was wrong with why you didn't emulate the success of New Edition at that stage when you had all the talent?
Well, first of all, Gene Griffin became incarcerated. So he went away.
Okay.
So right at the third single, because Sony really believed in us.
Wow.
And they wanted to put the record out, but it was almost like a high profile production deal. Everything was through Sounds of New York Records. So once that didn't happen, it was like we was left in limbo. We didn't know what to do. And the record company wasn't talking to little kids or young teenagers. That wasn't happening. So it was a wrap. You know, we still did tried to do a couple of shows on our own and stuff, but we didn't have the experience as a manager and stuff back then at all. We didn't know the business.
I've heard Teddy say that experience, that's it. R&B doesn't work for me. I'm going to hip hop. What was it for you like when all that ended? How did you take it?
I took it as I didn't know how to take it at first because we were so young, and you get over the notion of being angry and upset and all these emotions. But then I got serious. I stuck to R&B. It's like that's all I knew as far as lyrics. You know, Teddy still did R&B, but he went over to really doing just the music and the beat. And so we grew in that way, separately and together, because even after Kids at Work, Teddy and I still formed a new group, New Ideas, and after that came God, you know, so. Okay,
so with New Ideas, was it just the two of you? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we just brothers. Yeah.
And so when you guys formed that, were you still performing, or was it just like, let's just get records together, let's just and wait for another deal?
No, both. I mean, we were so used to we came from like a 8, 9, 12 group band.
Okay.
We went from that to not because we wanted to, it's because we had to, because the older guys would start to go off and indulge in other things, in other endeavors. So we were left to say, okay, we're serious about this. What we gonna do? So I met Clarell, so we formed that group, which was given the name Kids at Work.
Yeah.
After that, when Clarell decided, okay, I'm not gonna cut my hair, I'm gonna do this and whatever, and went against what we wanted to do as a group, then Teddy and I just said, okay, listen, no more members, just let's focus on you and me. So we still traveled, we still went to Chicago, we recorded.
Wow.
We still came back and did shows like at the Red Parrot and the Copacabana. So we still was basically trying to do something, even though it didn't grow into anything.
Yeah.
We still tried to do something.
And you were the lead singer at that point then?
And it was a short-lived thing, but New Idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Teddy wasn't a singer, so it was left up to me to, write and sing.
Yeah, and then we've heard the story about how you were working at a shoe company and you met Aaron. What was it about? Were you just colleagues, or did you? How did
we were colleagues. We was working side by side in ladies' shoes, and we were both young, so we became fast friends. And just talking, just going to work every day, co-worker. Whatever, so, but we was there 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
And he always used to bug me because he recognized me as being in Kids at Work.
Oh.
Because locally, we were at some point in time, we was real hot because we had a song called Singing in the Air that played on the radio on WBLS and Kiss.
Wow.
And so he used to bug me all the time. I can sing, but you heard that so much that you were just like, whatever. So one day we was in the stock room getting ladies' shoes, laughing and joking. And Aaron used to have this bad impediment, speech impediment, where he stuttered. And he said, I can sing, I'm telling you, I'm a singer. So I said, okay, mother, just sing. Sing now. He said, right? I said, you've been bugging me forever, sing. And as soon as he opened his mouth and sung, it was a rap. It was like, oh, all right, it's a rap. And we quit that next day.
What? Just because you didn't sing?
I went straight on faith. I made sure Aaron had food, clothes. He was coming over to my home every morning. We were writing, we were working, we would go to clubs, we'd go to anywhere whatever we had to do, we did. Because when he sung for me, I knew it was like a revelation. I was like, wow, this is it.
Wow. And then, what was the plan? Because you read different stories on Wikipedia and stuff as to how it worked out. I mean, I think in one story I heard that you went to Teddy to say, can you come and produce? And Aaron says, no, you need to bring him in. But what was the real story?
No, man, hell. First of all, Aaron, at that time, I was the unofficial leader because it was, when Aaron sung for me, Aaron was coming over to my home every morning, eat from breakfast to late night. Sometimes Aaron would sleep. I had a studio, but the way the studio was set up, it was like a giant living room.
Okay.
And Aaron would sleep on the couch, and we would go right back at it the next morning. So it wasn't no, not at all. So what happened was I called Teddy because Teddy and I was still thick as thieves. I could call. Even though he was working at the time on Heavy D and Cool Mo D and Keith Sweat, I still could call Teddy at any given time, and Teddy would pick up because we had that attachment.
Yeah.
So I called Teddy and asked him, I told him I had this new idea because God gave me a revelation. He gave me the name, he gave me the group, he gave me the style, the concept, everything. It was like a vision.
Wow.
And so I called Teddy and said, I didn't want Teddy to be in a group. I didn't ask him to be in a group. I just said, yo, I need you to help me produce.
Okay.
This new group I'm trying to do. And I got this lead singer that, man, I'm telling you, he sounds exactly like Charlie Wilson. Exactly. And he said, word? I said, yeah, man, this dude is crazy. So Teddy said, all right, listen, I'm working on, I believe it was Kumo D. I thought it was Keith, but no, Keith would have came out because all of us was tight knit. If it was Keith's session, Keith would have came out. That's how close we were. Okay. So it had to be Kumo D. So we went down to the studio and Teddy took us into the vocal and the piano room and said, all right, man, let me hear what y'all got. Let me see what you got, Timmy. I know you can write, but let me hear what y'all got. So I got on the piano. By then I learned how to play a few chords. And I played a few chords and played him the song. And Aaron sung. When Aaron sung, you could see Teddy's eyes light up. And then when Aaron got on the piano and played and we sung, then Teddy said, yo, I'm down. But I don't only want to help you, I want to be a part of the group. So for me, that was like, okay, no problem. Because Teddy had access to the big recording studios. Okay. So we was like, okay, no problem. And we went from there.
So what was the first things you guys wrote then? What was the first thing that you wrote?
Well, myself and Aaron already had Piece of My Love. When we went to Teddy, we already had Piece of My Love, Don't Clap Your Hands, Just Dance, and Goodbye Love. Oh. So we already had, those songs was written. Teddy put his expertise on it and his production and arrangement on it. But the song was already written and it was already arranged. After that, though, came I Like, Groove Me.
Okay, so we've got loads of people who've been asking about each of the songs. So, but So if we start, I've got the album, so I'm going to start with the first one with "Groove Me." How did that? Did the rhythm come first, or did the song, the lyrics?
No. We have been in the studio all night. I mean, at Teddy's mother's apartment in the projects. Mrs. Riley allowed us to use that whole living room. Wow. God bless her, to record and stuff. And most parents didn't do that.
Yeah.
So we had been recording songs and whatever. So I was home. I was on 120th and Morningside doing what I do. And Teddy called me up and said, and I heard music playing in the background. And he said, Timmy, you got to come over here right now, man. You got to hear this song. And I heard a bunch of kids in the living room. I was like, damn, y'all having a party? He's like, nah, man, it's this new track I got. It's this new track. So he said, Tim, come over now. So that's how close we were. We literally 5 blocks away.
Yeah.
And 2 avenues over. So I went over there. And when I walked in the project, it was like a party. That's when you heard all of that came from the kids. And Teddy played they just had the music. That's it, just the track. But the track was so dope, so funky. I was like, damn. I said, give me a pad and a pen. Right away, I was asking him, like, give me a pad and a pen. And that song was written literally in 20, 30 minutes.
Okay, so you just heard the music and you're writing when I get...
Yeah, once I heard the track, I always do this. I close my eyes, I say a prayer. Once I heard the track, it was like then the ink pen took on a life of its own.
Wow.
Whatever that instrument and music said to me, and wherever it led me, that's what I wrote about.
And so, as you wrote it, were you singing it, or was Aaron around to join in?
Aaron was there. Aaron was there, and we would feed off each other. But my specific role in the group was the lyricist.
Okay.
So once I wrote it down, and everybody heads was nodding, because I would make Teddy. People was getting upset because I would make Teddy stop, play it again, stop, play it again, because I'm writing.
Yeah.
So stop, play it again. But in 20, 30 minutes, the song was written. Then Aaron was already there, and Aaron is Aaron is so quick. It's like it was like God sent, because we would feed off each other.
Wow. And
I showed Aaron the lyrics once. He kept singing it down, went into the bathroom, put the towel under the door. Teddy already had the microphone and the mic buffer already set up, and we started recording it.
What? Just that night?
Just that night, same night.
My goodness. But, well, okay. Teddy's Jam, were you involved with that one?
Yes, the bass line.
Okay.
Yeah, the bass line, because Teddy, Aaron and I, well, not even I, because I knew I wasn't the lead singer, but I was a better singer than Teddy.
Okay.
But my job was we can't compete against Aaron, but we in the group. So all of us have to have different styles.
Yeah.
So I knew that immediately. I knew that's the direction I wanted the group to go. So Teddy needed an instrumental, and I convinced Teddy. Teddy did not want to sing. Teddy did not want to get on the microphone. That's how insecure he was about his vocal. Yeah. But what I told Teddy, listen to Cameo, listen to Larry Blackman, listen to Roger Troutman, Zach, listen. We make this new. Take the old and make it new. That was our whole concept. Take the old and make it new.
Wow.
And so Teddy did that with Spend the Night, and Teddy had the instrumental.
No, we just want to start with that. We'll go down because, Now, but it's interesting you've cleared that up, because in the report you get, it says that Aaron convinced Teddy that you need a jam.
No.
Yeah.
Hell no. Aaron was worrying about Aaron. It was my concept.
Yeah.
It was my concept. Even if they was on this Zoom, I would tell them. It was my concept. Yeah. It was my vision. God gave it to me.
Yeah.
Jesus gave it to me. It was my style. That's how I dress. It was my songs.
Yeah.
Everything. But we collectively came together to make God.
Yeah.
But even when I came came to them and said, this is the name of the group. They laughed because back then it was like, how can a group be called one guy?
Okay.
How can they laugh? I got laughs from everybody, even people that was close to me. When I told them, yo, the name of the group is God, they were like, how can a group be called one person? Back then. And that's how it was.
Wow.
How can a group be called one person? Yeah, and so that's how that happened.
What about Don't Clap?
Now, Aaron didn't convince. Aaron didn't convince Teddy to sing. No, that never was like that. Aaron supported Teddy and said, yo, you can do it. Almost like a cheerleader. Once I told Teddy, Aaron would say, yeah, man, you could do it. Just believe. One thing Aaron is good at is coaching. He's a great coach. But I told Teddy, yo, you have to, it's not just going to be the Aaron show. We a group.
Yeah.
So we had to convince. Now, Aaron did go in the booth with Teddy and stand outside the booth and guided Teddy on every note. Because when Teddy sung Spend the Night, literally it was line by line, almost like when you seen the movie Ice Cube and DOC helping Eazy-E.
Yeah.
Line by line, even though Eazy-E wasn't a rapper.
Yeah.
But he had that tone, so it was like line by line. That's how Teddy was.
Wow.
Teddy didn't come out singing. Now, once Teddy got confidence, it's just like Eazy-E. He wanted to sing everything.
Okay.
But that wasn't Teddy. That wasn't Teddy's position at all.
Okay.
No,
it's good that you cleared it up, because I said when you're trying to get information, Wikipedia and internet would have all this stuff. So it was good that you cleared it up. Don't Clap, Just Dance. Right. Don't Clap, Just Dance. What about, because you know the worst thing about the album is that it doesn't give any credits. It doesn't tell us who did what.
It was a reason for that.
Yeah, I know.
Because they tried to get my name off the record. They tried to get my picture off. They tried to do a lot of things that, at the time, Gerald Bugby and Lil Silas, who ran MCA Records, was like, no.
Yeah, you know.
It's not happening.
Don't Clap.
And Teddy, you still hear these stories. Even though I love these guys, you still hear these different narratives.
Yeah. No, that's why I said,
you still hear.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said. That's why.
And the only reason I got on social media is because my family, close friends and stuff said, you got to say something, Tim. You've been quiet too long, and these people still basically lying, telling stories like they have amnesia. No, That's the reason why I said, let me at least try to clarify this. Let me clear some things up.
Yeah. As I said, the New Jack Swing fans, we're searching for information, and it's good that we're getting, like the gospel, we get 4 different accounts, and it's good you get a holistic idea of what happened. And so certain things get missed out in Matthew that you see in Luke, you see in John. So it's good that we're getting the full picture, because we know and knew about.
I don't want to compare the group. I don't want
no.
But the group to the disciples of the Bible. But you're right in the sense that when you hear one person tell their story, and even Aaron saying at some point Aaron said he put the group together, and him and his brother. Then Teddy said he met the Hall brothers. Then Teddy said, I don't know. It's so many that I left the group. I got mad because I was singing "You Can Call Me Crazy," so I can't. Gene bought me out the vocal booth.
Yeah,
and they never seen me ever since. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Back then, if the album wasn't finished, you didn't even take photos.
Wow.
It's like that's how it was back then. You didn't take photos and stuff before the record. The record companies had to have that in the can before they give you another budget. Okay, go do your photos.
Yeah.
Okay, go do your videos.
Yeah.
It ain't the other way around. So all of that was lies.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, that's one of the things that we've been searching for, because we haven't really heard your side, and which is really powerful. Don't Clap, Just Dance.
Well, Teddy wasn't a big club goer, but Aaron and I used to frequent the clubs all the time. Bentley's, Red Parrot, Palladium. We was out. We was going out because not just to have fun and party, but we was going out to research what everybody, because even though we were young and we had certain instincts and picked up on certain things that we was doing at the time, we still wanted to know what made everybody dance, what made everybody go, oh, we wanted that attention. So we went out, did research, party, came back, wrote. So Don't Clap Your Hands, Just Dance came from that. Like I wrote that literally probably 10, 15 minutes. It was just about going out, seeing a girl, you know, even though everybody partying back then, that's when people used to dance. They don't dance now. They post up on the wall, rub on your ass, do whatever they do. You know, don't step on my shoes, I'll shoot you type shit. So, but back then, it was dance. We danced. And every now and then, you would dance, but you saw this fine girl who probably went out with her sisters or whatever, or her friends, and she was the one that's turning everybody down. Like, no, I'm good. No, I'm okay. No matter whether the hit song come on or whatever, she was chilling. So that's what I wrote about.
Wow. So did you have, when you were writing, was it that you could just visualize something and just put it down? Was it,
Exactly. That was it. Hey fellas, there's a girl that's on the wall, stands slim and tall. I think that's all she wants to do. Oh, I see a move or two, sneaking out her attitude. Girl, make up your mind. So it was like, if you don't want a group, but I added that word groove, even though, because I grew up on that old groove thing, but I wanted to bring it back. If you don't want a groove, that is fine. Oh, you know, and once I wrote those lyrics down, Aaron took it on from there and gave it life.
My goodness. Were you surprised at how easy it was coming for you to be able to just write stuff down like that, or did it just become?
Yes, I was very, very, very surprised. The first time that I wrote lyrics, it was like, because we used to, when I picked up bass, because again, Teddy and I grew up with these older bands, so once they moved on, and Teddy said, you got to learn how to play bass, so we stuck. So that's the instrument I picked up. But then we got into another band, and we used to do covering songs, but we got tired of that. So the first one that started to write, even though it was a corny song, I wrote a song called We're Rocking. And so I knew then, it was like, and I was surprised because I was like, Jesus, how can I write? I almost like had an out-of-body experience because I attempted to have a piece of paper and a pencil. But in minutes, I wrote a song. Even though it still had to mature, it still had to develop. It was easy for me to just write.
Wow.
I was surprised myself.
I always remember Paul McCartney talking about how he came down, saw his wife, and wrote Yesterday just came in his head, and he just wrote it down. And I think at that moment, I realized that people like yourselves who can just write effortlessly, like
it's a gift. It's a gift
that I can't just try and do it and go to writing school. That it has to be a gift.
It's a gift. You don't overthink. It just comes. It just comes. I've tried to overthink and write some more, and it never works. But when a song comes to you and a bass line or piano play, I can never tell you that it took me 2 or 3 days to write a song. Wow. I could sit there. Now, the most it probably took me was 40 minutes because I was going back and forth, say, okay, I want this line to sound mature, but the song is already written.
Wow. Now,
the song is already written.
I just appreciate that. Now, the first track that we have on the album that you sang was You Can Call Me Crazy. Now, we heard different stories about that, Mr. I'll Be Sure and stuff, but what happened with that particular track? The writing?
Well, that track, again, I got so pissed where I had to call I think it was one day last year, I saw Teddy and Andre Harrell, God rest in peace, Andre.
Yeah.
But I saw them on a forum talking. And I heard Teddy also just last month having an interview. And he said how Timmy was supposed to sing the song. He was singing the song, but Timmy got mad at Gene and left out the studio. And then Gene said, yo, just put old boy on it. And Teddy said, who you talking about? Timmy's not here to finish the song. And he said, you know who I'm talking about. And it was out. That was a farce. That was a fucking farce. That never happened. What the real story is, Teddy and I produced I'll Be Sure.
Oh.
When Andre wanted to sign Guy, rest in peace, Andre. Teddy and I did If I'm Not Your Lover for Al, and we did You Can Call Me Crazy. If you look at the credits, you'll see written by Timmy, Gatling, Teddy Riley. Produced by Timmy, Gatling, Teddy Riley. If I'm Not Your Lover with Slick Rick. We also did You Can Call Me Crazy. But we were working on Guy simultaneously because Andre Harrell gave us a big ass deal. So we were going back and forth. But Teddy was already known as a hot producer. So Teddy stopped everything just to finish up Guy, to work on Guy, because he was still getting demands to do hip hop. But it's like, what, the little money he was getting for that, because Teddy wasn't getting no big money for Heavy D in the beginning at all. He getting a couple $1,000, even for Keith Sweat. I doubt if he made 20 grand for that whole first album. But with Guy, Andre gave us a deal for $500,000, so that became the priority, a legitimate priority. So he asked us to write for I'll Be Sure. So we wrote If I'm Not Your Lover, You Can Call Me Crazy. But when Gene came into the picture and we were writing songs for the Guy record, Gene said that song is too good. We taking it back. Okay. We're taking it back. Timmy, you gonna sing the song, because it's your song anyway. It was my song. I gave it to Al and said, okay, I could write others. So that's why Al vocals was on the song. But if you listen to the record, Al sing the first verse. And then if you listen, Kevin, I'm singing all of the second verse.
Oh.
Okay. So it makes sense. If why would I be singing the second verse to a song if I left the song and gave it to Al? Why would he be singing the first verse?
Yeah. Did what was your? I mean, how did Al take it? That you're taking back a song that he already started working on? Was he upset?
Me and Al is very close. Me and Al, we don't see each other every day, don't talk every day, but Al just sent me a text 2-3 days ago. And me and Al is dope, and he knows you too. Yeah, he knows you. He knows about you too because he commented on the halftime chat.
Okay.
Or the flyers and the videos you kept sending out. So me and Al are still cool, but he understood. Al has always been a charming business type person. He understood. He didn't like it.
Yeah. But
he understood. And at the time, we was the only one that was on Uptown at the time was Heavy D, I'll Be Sure, Heavy D, and Guy.
Okay.
So we was the newcomers, the first band. He had the Uptown Girls or whatever.
Yeah.
But we were the first self-contained, even though Al and Kyle West they were the first self-contained. I'll take that back. Al and Kyle West and Heavy D, they wrote their stuff, but it was still, they had help. Guy was the first coming into this. First, let's take it over. First self-contained, executive produce our own record, everything.
Wow.
So we was the first ones to do that on Uptown.
Now,
but yeah, You Can Call Me Crazy was a song that we wrote for Al. And then Gene said, take it back. And that's why it's on the Guy album.
Wow. Now, when he said that, did you guys not think, well, no, I could write another one? Or did you think, yeah, it's a hot record, yeah, we should take it back? I mean, how did you take it when Gene was saying?
I told him, like, why are we doing that? If we giving somebody something and they paid us for, why are we going to do that? It was like, wow, it was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. It's like, especially, we had so many other songs in the can. Me and Teddy was writing and having songs done every day. Me, Teddy, and Aaron. So it's like, okay, what? But it was a power move, that I didn't necessarily like. Some power moves are called for, but this was unnecessary to me. It was like, that don't make sense.
Yeah. One of my favorites is Piece of My Love. And I remember seeing some other songwriters comment on it recently about you can have all of me, but I'm not totally free. I mean, how did you?
You can't have. You can't have.
Yeah. How did you
I'm
come
not
up
totally
with?
free.
Yeah. How did you just think about what was going through your mind?
Well, Aaron and I, this is like in the beginning when Aaron first started coming to my house and stuff. We were young. We wasn't. We knew out the gate that it wasn't about one person. Even though at the time I had a girlfriend, but we knew that it wasn't about one person. Right now I'm focused on my dreams. And so we were still going out partying, talking to whoever we wanted to talk to, connect. You know how young guys do. So when we came back to write, I remember I had a Casio keyboard and Aaron started playing chords on the Casio. Aaron could literally play chords just like Teddy.
Wow.
Probably better when it come to church. But Aaron started playing chords. And immediately, when he played the chord, I said, stop. And then, boom, 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 boom. Because I picked up my bass. Mm. Boom, boom. And you can have all of me. Because I'm not totally free. I can't tell you everything that's going on. Da, 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 da. So when we did that and wrote it, we finished the song in literally 10, 15 minutes again. So that's one of the songs we had before we even took to Teddy.
Wow. Oh, goodness. Did you, and you thought Aaron would be the one to sing it, not yourself?
Yes, because I've always wrote songs, even though I did the lyrics and wrote the lyrics down and arranged it and everything, I always kept in mind who, I don't know if most songwriters do this, I imagine so, but I've always kept in mind who this song would sound dope for. And Aaron was right in my face. And I wanted the song to be like a new Gap band, like a fresh out the box new Gap band. Aaron had that vocal. And once Aaron started singing along with me, that's your song. Now this is your song.
Wow. My goodness.
And that's how it was. Same way with Teddy. And Spend the Night. We can spend the night tonight. I was like, okay, once we write this, Teddy, you're going to have to deliver. And Teddy was nervous. Oh my God, he was so scared to hear his voice for the first time over a microphone.
The question a lot of people had was that it sounded like Aaron was in a cupboard, in a sense, with Piece of My Love. When you hear the recording stuff, it seems faint in some ways, not as clear as the rest. What would happen in that recording process?
We was recording songs in Teddy's bathroom.
Okay, that's what I heard. Okay.
We were recording songs in Teddy's bathroom. So when we went to dump over the songs to the 48 track, the energy that he had, you know what I mean by dump songs? Like we took it from a 8 track, because Teddy had an 8 track, and basically saved the hard drive. And when we went to a bigger studio, we just dumped it over to the 48 tracks.
Okay.
Well, even a lot of Aaron lyrics, he had better energy in Teddy's bathroom than he did in the studio.
Oh, okay.
So we kept some of the lyrics from the bathroom.
Okay.
And so that's how we mixed it. So that's why it may sound like faint and whatever.
Yeah.
But it still worked. It worked.
Yeah, it does. I've always wondered about why that particular track. What was going on? What was happening when you wrote that?
Again, it was about women. It was about girls, young girls. It was about, going out or whatever. And it was almost like a fantasy to me. Because you know how you meet someone, you go home, you think that may be the one, and you dream about it the next night. So I was always, I was like, and it was writing about my experience, my dreams are now reality. Each and every time you are here with me, the touch you give me with your hands, when you caress my skin, I'm under your command. Girl, you hypnotize me with your eyes. It took me some time, but now I realize it's you to whom which I belong. I love it. Feelings getting strong. I like. And that's how that went.
Yeah, you make it seem as if it was so easy and straightforward. I mean, it's a very powerful track.
Yeah, I know it's not easy, but it came easy to me.
My goodness, that's
Praise God.
Yeah,
it came easy to me, and that's another song that I thought I was gonna sing that song.
Oh,
I'm glad I didn't. That's why you hear me talking at the beginning of it. I'm talking at the beginning of it like, girl, words can express the way I feel for you, the way you hold me, the way you touch me, everything you do to me, you know I like it. Don't stop now. So I thought but once Aaron got on it, he knocked me out the box. He was like, it was a wrap. Yeah.
So you'd hear him sing and you'd say, yeah, you go ahead. It wasn't like a group decision or something.
It wasn't no competition. It was like whoever sung it best, whoever did it best, whoever that song fit, okay. It was like we wanted to do what was best at that particular time. We wanted to do what was best for the group. How this group was going to get on.
Wow. And then
all power.
We got number 7, Round and Round, Merry-Go-Round of Love.
I had nothing to do with it. Nothing.
Okay.
That's during the end of the record. Gene Griffin wanted a song just like the Gap Band. At the time, him and Teddy was starting to do, to me, it was starting to be like a little one-sided. I saw and witnessed Gene and Teddy start to branch off a little bit. After Teddy and I were so close for so long, I saw the manipulation coming in even then. Because I wasn't even around. And then they said, yo, come, what you think of this song, Tim? And by then he had the song, the lyrics, everything, without me. That was the first song that they really did without me. Like they was trying to show me that I wasn't the only one that could write, which is okay.
Who wrote it?
Teddy and Aaron.
Oh.
Teddy and Aaron. I had nothing. But once again, when you break that formula, it's dangerous because if you recall, hold on just 1 minute, please. If you recall, that was the second single.
Yeah.
And it didn't do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's I don't.
Yeah. You know, I get it, but and I'm not bashing on them or whatever, because it was a group collective. But that was the song that it just didn't fit for us. Period. Because it wasn't done out of sincerity. It wasn't done to me. It wasn't done out of a genuine type of play. It was done to basically look what we can do too. And Gene also co-wrote the song. So he pushed his song.
Oh, okay.
Our manager wanted to be a writer. So he pushed this and even pushed it as a second single.
Wow.
But it was like Gerald Buckley and them knew off the back. Nope. Nope. Andre Harrell knew it too. Nope. But they put it out there to appease him.
Because he had a really hot group, so it was important to try and be supportive, I guess.
Grouping did so well, even though it took Grouping a while to get up. Grouping was on the charts forever.
Yeah.
So Grouping did so well, so they just thinking, okay, whatever they say, put it out. But I wasn't for it at all. Yeah. I didn't like it. It wasn't us.
And another powerful one is Spend the Night. This was the one that you said that they had to. Why did you want him to sing it instead of yourself or Aaron?
Because even though Aaron was the lead singer, each person in the group, we wanted to have at least 1 or 2 songs. Okay. Even though we wasn't lead, so we wanted to spread the bag. So even though Aaron was known as the lead singer, I had 2 songs. You can call me crazy in my business. Yeah. Teddy had 2 songs, Spend the Night and Teddy's Jam. So that's how we did it.
But back in those days, I mean, from the Gap Band to Earth, Wind & Fire, you really didn't have. You had the lead singer. So, but was it part of your vision to make sure that everyone feels?
Yes, definitely. Out the gate. It was my vision that God gave me to make sure that at least, even though people may know, oh, because Aaron killed when they heard Aaron's voice, everybody thought it was the Gap Band. Yeah. They thought it was a new Gap Band record, everybody. So we knew Aaron was dangerous in that. But we still had, you had two separate, different personalities. It was different personalities. Each of us had different styles, each of us. And it was something that came together real quick. It's just that people started to believe that they were the king instead of all three of us being the king. Because if you had Aaron, Timmy, and Teddy, that, you know, it was still, the group was so talented that with no help of the record companies or whatever, we still had individual success, all three of us.
Yeah.
So that's how talented the group was.
Yeah.
But, you know, once one person started thinking, oh, I'm running the group, and which was that, and I don't want a bag or just not a Teddy bag or Aaron bag. It's just that I didn't like Merry Go Round of Love because it was a Gene Griffin doing that said, okay, let's put this song out because even though his name is on all of the records, Gene Griffin didn't write. Gene Griffin was a manager. He was a gangster. I respect him as teaching us how to dress, how to style. He taught us what not to do in business, but it was a conflict of interest. It was too many. His hands was in too many, and I wasn't having it.
Yeah.
I wasn't having it. No.
Well, I wanted to get to that, but Goodbye Love really sampled quite a lot by, I think, Mariah. It's been used quite a... No. She used Piece of My Love, sorry. But Goodbye Love...
Yeah, Piece of My Love was sampled a lot. Piece of My Love is the most sampled out of the Guy record, but Goodbye Love they sampled too, and I like. But Goodbye Love came from basically when we first started to hit. I wrote a song about my girlfriend at the time that we had to start going on promo tours.
And
we would get ready to go. They had already set it up, so we was going on promo tours and we was doing other things. So that song was Goodbye Love.
So, so was it that you wrote the lyrics with your bass, and then did you get anyone?
That I didn't use my bass. That I started to play around and fiddle around with the keyboards a little bit. Matter of fact, that came from the keyboard, the bass line. I learned how to play bass line on the keyboards, on the lower keys, and then I started saying, okay, and I picked up one or two chords. But once again, Aaron taught me. Aaron was like, Aaron wrote out a chart for me to teach me how to play keyboards.
Wow.
Yeah, Aaron wrote out that chart. Aaron Hall wrote a chart to teach me, and once I picked it up, that's how close we were. Once I picked it up, it was like I would go to my bass, then come back to the piano, make sure the keys were correct and everything, and the chords. And Goodbye Love. That was a song I wrote that we were getting ready to go. So it was like, well, I'm not married yet or whatever. Goodbye Love.
Who was a female in the background?
Tammy Lucas.
So you guys have known her for that long, wow.
Yes, Tammy Lucas. Tammy Lucas.
My goodness.
Lucas.
I mean, most of us know her from singing backgrounds with a lot of other stuff, but we didn't realize she'd gone, because, you know, she nothing in here, so, yeah.
I don't understand. It's like, okay, you have all the success that you could possibly have 32 years later. Why are you not? It was so, we didn't create New Jack Swing, and we didn't do this by ourselves. First of all, it was God, and it was so many other entities and people that supported us and helped us and sung with us along the way. Why not give them light? I never understood it. That's why I stayed quiet for so long, because I didn't want to come across as the disgruntled person that got kicked out the group and whatever. I had success on my own. God bless me, I was able to own my own publishing, so I'm good with it. Yeah. But it was just that this same narrative kept going on, and every time you heard the story, it was a total different story.
Yeah. I'm
like, okay, stop. Enough is enough.
Yeah. What about My Business? Because this was the one that you sang. But what was going through your mind when you wrote it?
Well, you can call me crazy and My Business. At that time, that was the last two songs that made the record, because I was so focused on making sure everybody else had their songs And then when I saw my best friend at the time, Teddy, that I protected and loved and cared for, start to be manipulated, and he started to lean more towards Gene Griffin. And then I wanted to get married on You. I got engaged on You Could Call Me Crazy, and everybody was thinking I was stupid, I was crazy. Wow. You gonna mess up the group. So that's why I wrote You Can Call Me Crazy. My business is stay the hell out of my business. Business is literally stay the hell out of my business. I'm tired of people always ask.
Did they know?
Yes, I knew. It was. Did they
know what the meanings behind the songs were?
Yes, I always wrote from my heart. We wrote about clubs and we was having good times and fun, I wrote about that. If we wrote about being with a certain significant other and now we gotta go, we wrote about that. If we wrote about Teddy and what he was going through and whatever, I wrote Spend the Night. When he liked this little young girl, I wrote about that.
Wow.
If we wrote about, if Teddy needed a song and he needed to just dance and create it, we wrote about that. I had nothing to do with Merry-Go-Round of Love. I had nothing to do with that, but other songs that have everything to do with it. So of course they knew. My business listened to the lyrics. I'm tired of people always asking me, what's happening, what's going on, trying to get into my head. Why don't they leave me alone? I want to say, why don't they leave me the f alone? That's what I wanted to say, but I didn't.
Some of the questions that people ask is, were there other songs from that album that didn't make the album that you guys wrote and created?
Yeah, plenty of songs. I mean, we had a lot, like My Prerogative. What? We had songs that the group Today did, Him or Me. Me and Teddy wrote songs that he gave the boy George, Don't Take My Mind on a Trip. Yeah. We had these songs Teddy and I did together. And it was passed out to their own needs after I left.
Okay, so you hadn't recorded, so there wasn't one that the three of you recorded, but then didn't make the album cuts. It was just that these were the 10 that you recorded as a group.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think the big question that and I've seen a lot of your interviews about what really happened and stuff, but was it a case where you were watching what was happening, how your very best friend was being manipulated by Gene? I've heard Andre Harrell, I think 2 weeks before he died, give an interview with Kenny Burns talking about how Gene came to his house at 6 in the morning to get the publishing from. So it's quite known that he was quite a tough character. You noticed what was happening, and was it like we see in some films where they all vote and say, yeah, we vote for you out, like they did to Bobby Brown? How did the exits happen?
Well, once I got married, I moved to Arlington, Virginia. Me and my wife we were young, moved to Arlington, Virginia. But I thought that wasn't a big problem because Gene lived in Virginia. So we were still going back and forth. And on the New Jersey Turnpike, it's only 3 to 4 hours. So I was always going back and forth anyway. But I noticed that a week or two passed by, I haven't heard from Aaron or Teddy. And this is after Gene gave us a little bit of our advance. And I was pissed about that. Why is Gene giving us our advance? Just wire it into our account. But Gene gave us our advance through Western Union. I'm like, I don't like this. That means he has POA. He has control of the bag. We don't. So I was already in Teddy's ear saying, this ain't right, man. So, and then he tried to get us to sign this thick ass contract before we actually got signed. It's just that Uptown Records, Andre Harrell moved so fast that once we signed the Uptown Records, that's when Gene hit us with his contract. So I wasn't gonna sign that at all. So I noticed 1 or 2 weeks passed by, I haven't heard from Teddy, Gene. Even if I haven't heard from Gene, I should damn sure hear from Aaron and Teddy. So I called G number and said, yo, what's up? Y'all all right? Why y'all ain't calling me anything? We did the photo shoot, big photo shoot. We did all kind of stuff together. So as soon as I heard the tone of Gene's voice, I knew something wasn't right. Teddy never called me. Aaron never called me. Gene and I had a verbal, old-fashioned cussing out each other. I mean, it was old-fashioned. I mean, you, what are you trying to do? This is my group. No, it ain't. I'm taking the group. Wow. And I'm taking it and consider yourself not part of the group anymore. I was like, you. I said, you could have a group. God gave me that when he gave me, it was stuff that shouldn't have been said, that was said and whatever. And that was it. Now I'm out the group. I cried like a baby though. Once I got off that phone, I cried like a newborn baby because I was hurt.
Wow.
For so many different emotions. But once I finished crying, I spent 2 or 3 days crying. It was like, okay, it's time to get back on the horse and see what I can do. And I went right back because Gene and Teddy couldn't even get a record deal when we first started out. Me and a friend of mine named David Peasley, a white guy who wrote for Dance Music Magazine at the time, he had a relationship with Tommy Boy. And what started the bidding was that we went to Tommy Boy and we got the deal. And then I called Gene and Teddy back and said, we got a deal. Y'all couldn't get one, but I got one. It was just like that. But once we got that deal, Teddy and I had wrote a song for Orange Juice Jones, so we was connected to Russell as well, Russell Simmons. And Russell told Andre, go get them boys. So that's when Andre known for outbidding everybody back then, because he had the pocketbook. And even though we could verbally committed to Tommy Boy, when Andre came along with that money, we had to say, okay, we're going with Uptown.
Wow.
So Gene and Teddy didn't even get the first record deal. Period. Teddy will tell you that if you confront him.
So you, after having this verbal with Gene and he says you're out the group, could he do that though? How could he kick you out the group? Well, did he have any power?
He couldn't really kick me out because I signed no contract, but by then he had Teddy and Aaron in the headlock. I didn't know whether they signed or whatever, but it was obvious that they signed. So that's what made me like, okay, I'm fighting a losing battle over here. If he got Aaron and Teddy, because one thing I knew, and it wasn't wisdom or whatever, it was just God giving me insight. I knew he wouldn't even pull that stunt if Teddy and Aaron would have said, nah, we're not doing that. Mm-hmm. But obviously, they agreed to it. That's facts. They agreed. You know, we with you, Gene. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't hold no animosity, but I'm giving you truth. Yeah. That's all. I'm telling the truth. And sometimes the truth can be harsh, but that's what they did. And basically left me, even though, you know, I've forgiven them, but at that particular time, whatever, they left me for dead. They didn't know. They didn't care. Wow. It was like they would focus on them. And I give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, we were young. But at the same time, loyalty and friendship, a character trait to me is a character trait. Yeah. We were babies together, so how could you do that?
It seems as if you were much stronger in character and determination. Even back then, you seem to have, because you said when you hit Aaron, you just quit your job. You went in and said, we've got this, and getting the deal. It seems as if you had a different type of vision and that you weren't limited by circumstances at that point.
I don't give myself that much credit. There's certain times, anybody, if God anoints you and give you a vision and he protects you, we all do things sometime and have faith in something, and things are going to happen in a certain way for that particular moment. I don't know if I would do that now. I don't know. I could. It depends on the vision. It wasn't that I wanted it bad. I did want it bad, but at the same time, I knew it was something that was beyond me. To have that type of faith, to quit your job, to have that type of faith, to be criticized and whatever, you never gonna be nothing. You gonna do this, you gonna do that. To have that type of faith, even when I got put out of a group I love. You gotta remember, they had already Universal, MCA, Uptown Records. They had life-size posters of us. They already had posters of us. My face was on every CD and every album cover you could find. So it was hard for me even right after, in the aftermath, because everywhere I went, people expect even concert, people expecting to see me, asking me questions. Why you ain't on stage? Yeah. You sick? You this? What's going on? Wow. So it was hard. How do you explain that? And everybody that in New York, where we come from, everybody know that Timmy and Teddy was together ever since they was little. So how could your best friend do that? But right after their second album, The Future, then they got rid of James. So
yeah, what was did they spin a story? Because as I said, what was the story because they must have had to answer questions when the video of Groovy came out. What was the story?
Timmy left the group. It was so many stories I can't even say, but one thing I do know, Timmy was disgruntled. Timmy left the group. Timmy got married. Timmy did this. Timmy did that. Timmy didn't get along with Aaron. Timmy didn't get along with Teddy. It was like, you don't have to try to, you already kicked me out, now you want to bury me?
Yeah.
So it was that's how I felt.
Yeah. How did you, full-time job, I'm a therapist, and I can't imagine the world, what that's like, just you're creating something, your friends leaving you, the video's coming out, you've got the biggest track in the country, and you're not part of it. Did you then think it's over, or did you think I need to pack up and move forward? Because that was another question someone asked is, what did you do next? In the midst of all this,
I did think everything that I worked for, everything God gave to me is over. I did think that in the beginning. Yeah. But in minutes went by, and I said, okay, God, if you could give that to me, you could bless me with other things, because this wasn't my doing. I cried like a baby. I prayed, and then got back to work. And I called up the same people who we verbally committed to, and I was wondering, I'm thinking to myself, Monica Lynch and Tom Silverman ain't gonna even want to hear my voice. And my girl at the time said, call them. Just call them. You wouldn't know if you don't call them. And they had already heard the story that Gene Griffin, because everybody knew who Gene Griffin was and what type of person he was. So they knew it wasn't me. So Tom Silverman and Monica Lynch paid for my airfare, gave me money up front, said come down and do some demos for us. And the first demo I did was a song called After 12 that went on a Lean On Me movie for the Force MDs. And then they gave me $200,000 for my solo record.
Wow.
And then I met my partner out, Wokey Stewart, and we started to produce. And we clicked, just like me and Aaron clicked, and his vocals was damn near better because he was a vocal connoisseur. And I wrote 2 songs for him and his solo record, So Cold and Headache, and got him a Sony deal. And then and Cassandra Mills and Lil Salas brought us out to LA. And that's when we started working on everyone else.
So at this point, did the vision of being in a group, did you say, let's park it, I'm going to go solo, or let me do production? What was going through your mind, and what path?
We were making so much money now producing that I had to do a solo record, because even though my mind was in many different places, because right when I was doing my solo album, I was still producing Belbeth DeVoe and Ralph Tresvant and Stephanie Mills and Christopher Williams. Wow. So I didn't really give my solo record the attention it needed, but I didn't want to mess up another commitment with Tommy Boy.
Okay.
Because they had done gave me the money, so it was like, okay. I love being in a group. God gave me that vision.
Yeah.
But I did it because the only reason I did that, I would have never done it. I mean, I would have done solo things within the group because I wanted us to be like the Black Beatles. I really did pray for that for a long time. I wanted us to be like the Black Beatles. But I did it because I had to, because I was ousted from the group and I didn't want to be in no more groups.
Okay.
For a long time.
Yeah. And so that's when went solo. And it's you do your solo album, you have to promote that, and then you said, you know what, let me go back and just focus on developing other artists.
Yes. It wasn't so much developing the artists, it was just writing, doing the same thing I did for Aaron and Teddy and myself. Hanging with them, like we did that with Christopher Williams. We did that with Belle Biv DeVoe. We did that with Stephanie. We did that with Ralph Chesmont. We did that with Bobby. Just hanging with them, getting to know them, and writing songs for them. Yeah,
I have to admit, the song that I would play if I've had a little argument with my girl back in the day was When Would I See You Smile Again? Because you listen to it and it kind of like, okay, I can be humble now and go and say I'm sorry. It was such it's a powerful track. The lyrics, they did the video well, but I was like, wow, this is really, I mean, what was happening when you thought about writing that? Because it's a powerful track, really, really.
Well, that song actually was a song, again, that was supposed to go on my solo record.
Oh.
And I wrote it specifically for that.
Yeah.
But at the time, if you recall, didn't nobody know what Mike Bivins, Ricky Bell, and Ronnie DeVoe was gonna do. Didn't nobody know. Matter of fact, people that already counted them a bust. They already counted them out before they even started.
Yeah.
We were the first, Wokey, my partner Alan Wokey Stewart and I were the first producers to work with them, period.
Okay.
Before Spider-Man and Freeze, before Hank Shockley, before everyone else. So we actually wrote 5 songs for him. But MCA only used the 2 ballads. But they were the 2 strongest ballads.
Mm.
And that song was mine. It was mine. It was like, tell me, it was about me, my life, and my girl and my wife. It's like, you get in an argument, you don't even have time to make amends because you out on the road again.
Yeah.
And you come back and thinking things gonna change, but a woman still holds on to it and remember the fight y'all had before you left. And the only thing you thinking about, oh, sex is gonna fix it. No, it isn't. They want to talk. They want to clear some things up emotionally, mentally. Then the physical will come later if mentally you can make her feel secure again. So the song I wrote was, tell me when will I see you smile again?
Yeah. I think the question somebody asked was that when Guy came out and they were performing and stuff, and they went back into their second album. Were you with one eye looking at what was happening with them? Did you guys make up, or was it just like, I'm in LA, you guys are there and with being cross paths?
Never ever. Even still to today, like Teddy and I have met 2 or 3 times. Matter of fact, I just talked like last week and the week before, me and Teddy just basically talked on the phone for a short period and through, social media and his email and my email. Aaron and I, we started talking every single morning for a long time, like a month ago. And everybody, Christopher Woods, everybody started talking, but we never, like Aaron, what's different about it is, I think I lost you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, good. I think it never was officially an apology. It never was officially, what we did wasn't right. It was bullshit, and it shouldn't have happened that way. It was always, they passed the buck. Oh, it wasn't me, it was him. It wasn't him, man. And Teddy come from the standpoint, that's done, that's over with, we different people now. It's like, no, you still have to truly make amends, I feel. you still have to apologize. You still have to admit to my responsibility and my accountability was wrong. We were a group. Before we brought Gene back in, we did this together. We was children. And I went off and became this big producer and became the lead singer of a group that I never intended me to be the lead singer. And it wasn't right. God was going to bless all of us anyway. But I still haven't received an official apology. And yes, I've talked to them, many times throughout the years, but there was never an official apology, because when that train was running up, I didn't hear from them at all.
So even when they were doing the Future album, did at that point in time, I think, Bill, this was 1990 or so. So you were working on quite a lot of things at that time. Were you watching and rooting, or did you have any thoughts about what they were doing at that point?
Never. I never. Of course, anybody I will be lying to you if I said once a group, and you heard the name that God gave you, and a group come on and put out a record, that your attention ain't gonna go there. But I had so many other people coming to me. You always have those people that's coming to you saying, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. Have you heard this? And they have it and play it for you. This is what someone said. This is how it's going on. Timmy, listen to this. How could this person say that? I was there. And that's how it was.
Yeah.
So when the Future record came out, I seen the video because they debuted it on BET. But once I saw Teddy singing lead, I was like, the direction, the whole mission of the group has went sideways.
Mm-hmm. I guess it explains the difference between the original Guy album and the Future, because the sound was quite different. The Future sounded very a little bit more mechanical and stuff, and it seems to have lost the soul that the original album had. But I think most of us didn't really understand, just thought, well, that's how time moves on and stuff. But I can now...
No, that wasn't how time was. It was a total different vision. Mm-hmm. It didn't have the same... I mean, I don't care if you hear Earth, Wind and Fire in 1972 compared to 1990, whether you liked the song or didn't like the song, or even today, they still have that same formula.
Yeah.
You get those horn structures, you get those bass lines, you get those marvelous background singing, you get that Philip Bailey, and you get that Maurice White combination.
Yeah.
Guy, literally in 1 year, you go totally bananas and flip a whole sound. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't like it. The only song that I thought was decent, but it was so separate from the rest of the album, was Let's Chill.
Mm. Yeah.
It was a decent ballad.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a strong ballad. Like, you couldn't put Let's Chill up to Piece of My Love and Goodbye Love.
Yeah.
You couldn't put it.
Yeah.
You just couldn't if people like the song. But you could put, I'll tell you, I don't give a damn where I am. Play Let's Chill. Then I'm going to come in and play Piece of My Love. Mm-hmm. And you tell me which one is better.
Yeah.
I play Goodbye Love. You tell me which one is better.
Yeah.
And that's how I saw it. I could play all my ballads. I could play When Will I See You Smile Again? I could play I Do Need You, Promises, Promises. Mm-hmm. You tell me which one is better. So that song, it was just the song was exactly what it was. If you want to chill out, play the song. If you want to make love and you want to make up to your woman, play my songs.
Yeah. Now, I noticed you did Make You Sweat, but then Keith talks about bringing Teddy into do some of the do a little bit of the remix on it.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And I still got mad love for Keith. Teddy did the whole first album.
Yeah.
Okay? But by the time Guy came out and Teddy and Gene became GR Productions, they started charging everybody a lot of money to do one track. Keith Sweat is very frugal with his money, so he didn't have that. He couldn't use Teddy. He could not use Teddy, period. Teddy never touched Make You Sweat. If Teddy had a touch Make You Sweat or whatever Keith is saying, his name would have been on it. Period. Teddy's name would have been on it. Because at that point in time, Teddy was hot. Keith, I was just starting to become a producer. This is way before Chris, Bell Biv DeVoe, Ralph, Jasmine Guy, all of that. And Stephanie Miller. Keith knew where the sound came from. Because we all grew up together. Keith knew that I was the lyricist songwriter. Because we all grew up together. Keith watched us grow up. Keith is like 3-4 years older than me and Teddy.
Wow.
Probably older than that. Keith and I used to ride the train together, fussing on the train. Because Keith worked on Wall Street and I was going to high school. So we would fuss on the train about whose song's going to be better and whatever. By that time, Keith was working on his second record with a lot of pressure on him. The sophomore album is always more pressure than the first.
Yeah.
But he didn't have Teddy. So Keith is he's a dope songwriter within his own right. But he had a lot of ballads on his record. But he needed that signature up-tempo to bust his album out. And Keith came and met me in the same building I grew up in at my mother's house, because I just happened to be in New York. And Keith drove a brand new white Acura at that time. And Keith begged me to come to the studio with him. Begged me. Because no star like Keith, who your first album went 2 million, you come looking for little old me. That's facts. So that night, I told Keith what I wanted. Keith gave me what I wanted. We went down to Chungking Studios, and I wrote Make You Sweat. And Keith did not want to use his name. He did not want to do none of that, but it was a #1 hit. And every time I hear that song, I don't hear no Teddy Riley. I hear Bobby Wooten, I hear me, and I hear Keith. And Wokey. Alton Wokey Stewart sung backgrounds. Because Wokey was under my wing. And I called Wokey to the studio. You gonna sing the song exactly like this. These are the lyrics. You gonna sing, and Wokey sung Make You Sweat.
Wow.
There's no other additives. Now, if Teddy did a remix somewhere, whatever, I don't know about that. But for this song, song that we did, Make You Sweat, Teddy had nothing to do with it. Period.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as I said, that's why it's important to get your side, because when you trades, magazines and stuff, because if you're silent, it could be written here and there and everywhere. Because as I said, people probably realize, he worked on the first album, more than likely did something there. As I said, those who don't really see.
Just look at the credit. And I had to fight for my credits. I didn't play. I couldn't play. Teddy's name is not nowhere on Make You Sweat. Period. It's just that we had that similar style. But Teddy, when I did Make You Sweat, Teddy had moved on. The future was something totally different from what I did with Keith. It was totally different. The first Sky album, you can't even, it sounded like two totally different groups.
Yeah.
Period. It became more hip hop, more leather jackets, more Doc Marten boots and black jeans.
Yeah.
That wasn't us. That's what they turned into.
Did before Gene passed on, did you ever run into him at all?
Never. Didn't want to. Never. And I give him props for basically protecting us, showing us lifestyle, fashion, and how to maneuver in this industry by watching him do what he shouldn't have done. But I still say he took advantage of young kids. He took advantage of a lot of people. He took advantage of the gifts that we had. And that's what I've known him for.
Mm.
And I never had a chance to say whatever. I never made amends, or never. No.
Yeah. I know that loads of people then, one of the questions somebody asked was about, now you've demonstrated earlier by when you were singing some of your lyrics, but did you continue over the last couple of years still singing, but not either publicly or just at home, or what was?
You mean now?
Yeah, because that's what. Yeah, since
Well, now I'm vice president of Urban Music for Pop Life Global Universal. So I'm vice president of Urban and Latin Music. So a lot of my business now is administration.
Oh.
And I also, supervise movies. So that's what I do. Like I told Elise, I called her at 4 something in the morning because I just China and the States a 17-hour difference.
Yeah.
So I just went to bed at like 5 in the morning. And I called her like at 4:30, so I'm getting ready to go to bed. So I had this meeting. I just reminded myself when the meeting was because I was out of it. So, but I got myself together.
Wow.
Around 1 o'clock, took a shower and stuff to really be with you. But yeah, so I'm in the administration side of it, still write and produce for certain artists that I love, still basically trying to reacclimate myself with certain artists and whatever, because I've been focusing on publishing and the business side of it.
Okay. So the actual performance side, have you lost?
No, I haven't performed, man. I haven't performed in woo, Jesus. I haven't performed in 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 28 years. Don't mean I can still do it though.
Yeah.
But I would have to get in shape, condition, whatever. But I still play my piano and bass all the time. So That's not the point. It's just physically getting conditioned for that.
I mean, because some people have asked. I mean, as I said, a couple of people started asking, could you imagine, even if it was a one-off show or like a charity event or like a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Could you see yourself and Aaron and Teddy just doing one of those BET Legends or Soul Train sort of stuff and just having a one-off performance?
Of course. I think Teddy has already tried to do it in so many different venues and avenues by having Damien and Aaron and Blackstreet, but there's so many different members, but no one never really saw me, myself, and Aaron, Damien, and Teddy together. I tell you what, if we put our heads together, we don't have to be best friends, but it'd be multi-million dollars. If we do 2-3 shows. If we do 2 or 3 shows, we don't even have to, we could just rehearse, leave, rehearse, say what's up, get that bag. It will be sold out. I've told this on other interviews. I believe personally that if people really knew the 4 of us were back together, it would sell out in hours.
Wow.
Hours.
Yeah, I know.
Live Nation, anybody put it together, it would sell out in hours. If everybody knew that, okay, it's not about one person. Everybody is getting their own money. Because I'm going to get mine. I don't care what. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to be honest with you. But if everybody is getting their own, like Aaron and Damien, and there's no more going through Teddy and the stories that I heard was like, these guys had to go through Teddy to get their money. They never really seen a publishing check. I was shocked. When Aaron told me that, and then Damien, I was shocked. Matter of fact, Damien will tell you that he never really got a publishing check from God. I went, what? So if it's set up to where they get their monies, that it comes directly from the promotion company or the company that's putting the show on and the venue, I think everybody will have a different attitude and a different look at making it happen.
What about recording new material? Because obviously the skill of writing hasn't left, and it's like a McCartney, Lennon, yourself and Teddy, LA and Babyface. You know, Babyface could write, but having LA with the sort of the percussions and the sort of the rhythms, it just married.
Right.
Could you ever see yourselves, even if the guy stuff was still harder to pull off, but the collaboration on a track?
Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. I believe when you put two people back together who had that touch, that just like two old siblings meeting that was adopted by different parents, once they meet up again, they just hug and cry and they start speaking for each other almost like you go back in the time.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible if you put those elements back together, like you said. It's like the only thing that bothers me is I've seen white rock groups do it.
Yeah.
I even seen Ozzy Osbourne. I was looking at Black Sabbath, like Ozzy Osbourne last night. I'm like, okay, they kicked him out the group. They did all this to Ozzy. He became a superstar in his own right. Now you got four old white men still able to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
And reunite.
Yeah.
I hold no animosity. It's like the Bible is like Joe. I felt like Joseph. I hold no animosity. Y'all sent me to the slaves. God, what you intended bad for me, God made good for me. I get it. Okay, now let's get the bag. Let's get that bag, because it's out there. It's too many people with the same questions you have. What about if y'all four got back together? Oh my God. Because you done saw Teddy. You done saw Damien try to sing his brother's songs. You done saw Aaron and Teddy. You done saw Teddy, Damien, and Aaron. Okay, we got that. But everybody, 33 years later, everybody's still wondering, okay, what about the original guy? What about Timmy Gatling? Didn't he create it? Didn't he do this? Well, what's going on? And if we got back together, I think it'd be remarkable.
Yeah. I mean, we have to really appreciate. I think the final question we had was that if you were stuck in a lift and stuff, and you had to watch a movie, and they said, look, 3 hours, we put a movie for you. What would you pick to watch?
My favorite movie. What would I pick? Once Upon a Time in America.
Is that the Denzel one?
No, Once Upon a Time in America with Robert De Niro.
Oh.
And it's a gangster movie, but the movie reminded me so much of us. You have to see the movie.
I'm gonna have to look for that.
It's called Once Upon a Time in America.
Wow.
It was a big, huge movie. A huge movie. But I give you a little synopsis. It's about two friends that were young kids together. And they did, stole a little, it's set back in the 20s. They stole a little bit of whatever. Two friends that was the leader. It was four guys, but it was two friends that came up together. Robert De Niro went in prison for a little bit. But when he got out, now they moved the crime up, the criminal behavior to, okay, now they robbing banks and now they work for this big gangster, whatever. But what's the other man's name? But Robert De Niro and the other friend, they started to get off into politics. But Robert De Niro was basically, listen, we do what we do, but I want this simple life over here. Where the other one was more, I want to get into politics. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, then he stole Robert De Niro woman. He started claiming all the fame for himself.
Oh,
he started sabotaging Robert De Niro. But at the end of the movie, when Robert De Niro they reunited, they old men now. And Robert De Niro confronted him. even though he gained all this wealth and political power, and he had a woman that really didn't belong to him, but so she was miserable. He went and threw himself in a garbage can compactor because he couldn't live with himself.
Wow. Okay.
But that movie was so deep. It's called Once Upon a Time in America.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. What about song? Because they said, okay, we're gonna put this movie on for you, but let's put a song for you to. Let's put a song. What would you pick if you had that one song to play?
Frankie Beverly and Maze, Before I Let Go.
Oh wow! Wow, why that song?
I love it. And listen to the lyrics. That song, it was like that. Matter of fact, I'll never forget. My big sister took me and my it's 7 of us, but she took the 3 siblings to the Frankie Beverly. It was Kool and the Gang, Frankie Beverly and Maze, and I forgot the other. But lyrically, I've always, and I think that really guided and directed what type of songs I wanted to write. Very simple but powerful. And the song is "You Made Me Happy."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I was like, and then it's like, even though we breaking up, but let me tell you this before I let go. What the?
Okay.
It's so simple, but meaningful and strong. It's like, and then the beat, the bass line, simple but powerful. If that song didn't have that, and that's how, if you listen to the first Guy record, simple bass lines but powerful.
Yeah.
If you listen to what I did for Keith, Christopher Williams, Bell Biv DeVoe, simple bass lines but powerful.
Yeah.
Like on Bell Biv DeVoe, I used the fretless bass line. But everything else, simple but strong. And I wrote like that.
Wow.
Don't. It's like, come on. Man, come on, man.
Yeah.
After that, if I had to play that, if that song stayed on for hours, I could live with that.
Yeah, you could.
I could live with that. Before I let go, you made me happy. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, I can feel. Come on, it's a rap.
Yeah, it is.
I'm good.
No, you've been a legend. It's been amazing to go through the album with you, to hear your story, your journey. As I said, for fans around the world who have been, you come up with an album that creates a genre and spawns fans, and music isn't the same, as you might attest, being a label executive. It's quick and fast. No one's releasing 7 tracks on an album anymore. No one's going to the Apollo to sing live or any of that stuff. So there's a lot of us that have missed that, and we're not we missed the real lyrics, the stuff that, Ready for the World was written, or Frankie Beverly and Maze, those sort of slow songs that really talk about pure love, and we don't get that. And so it's been a privilege to listen to how you created your songs, and because no one knows who wrote any of the stuff because it's not written in there. Even if you go to anywhere, it won't tell you who wrote what or how it came about. So
that was basically to disguise everything. Like, and if you look at the credits, it has Gene Griffin, Teddy Riley, myself, and Aaron Hall. Yeah. It's like Gene Griffin was never a writer.
Yeah,
but that's what he did. But they had to release that album. I would say this, and I'm glad I did it. But me being out the group and not signing that contract allotted me and afforded me to do a lot of different things. And they had to basically pay me, handsomely to release the album.
Wow.
Yeah, I got paid very handsomely for them to release that record.
Looking back at how your life has turned out, family and everything, when you look back and think, if I had been a rock star, an R&B star, and that life, would you look and think it might not, it would have, things would have been different because just, you know, the limelight and on all the pressures and that compared to the direction you took behind the scenes?
Yeah, I would have, I'll be honest with you, that I thought about that and I had many different emotions and thoughts. But when I pray about it, I'm glad that I went on the way, the path that God put me on, because if I would have just fell in line and been subservient to Jane and not tried to cause drama, after talking to Aaron and Damien, literally talking to them, to find out all these years, the only thing they lived off of was show money, was horrible. It was sad to me. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel good about it. It was very sad to me. It was like, yes, I would have had the fame, but I wouldn't have learned the business. I wouldn't have been able to retain my publishing. I wouldn't have been able to call shots with just my attorneys. I wouldn't have been able to be married for this long. I wouldn't have been able to have my children in private school, and they all have degrees and still they're tight knit. Like I have 2 girls and a son, 28 to 22, and they all are tight knit. My baby girl is finishing up her college at NLV. So God has blessed me, and he's first and foremost in my life. And I'm still able to go and talk. And now I'm in a position where I'm vice president of a China-based / universal company that I didn't ask for. It fell in my lap, and they paid me handsomely. And so I really don't take I try to be kind and courteous, but I don't take bullshit from people, because I haven't seen it all, but I've witnessed a lot of things that I would never want to go back to. When I was young, I cried like a baby. Yeah. But if I found myself on tour for 30 years because of our fans and they didn't like us, but I was broke, I wouldn't have been happy with that. I would have been miserable. Yeah. I would want to commit suicide.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's the one thing that when I first connected with you, I noticed that, you know, a man of faith, and I guess it's that sense of having a sense that, you know, with your faith, God knew then what was going to happen, and sort of said, you know, you may not like it now, but but later on you'd understand, you know, looking back. And so it's good to be able to reflect and see, yeah, you know what, it was hurtful then, but if I had stayed in that, you know, God knows what life would have turned out to be.
Exactly. That's perfect. And that's exactly the way it was. It was perfect because God really guided and directed my path. I mean, when I felt like people didn't care, they didn't. It was proven. They didn't care whether I was dead and alive. They never asked about my mother. And me and Teddy used to eat breakfast at my house as a little boy. Dinners. We were close. And Teddy never reached out. When my mother passed away, I didn't hear from Teddy. Aaron knew all of my family. But Teddy, the most longest, because we were so young together. Yeah. And if that person was able to go off and didn't care, just because I meet new people don't mean that, I'm very reluctant to really meet new people and all of a sudden bring them into my camp or embrace them. Like, if it happens, it's be known to me. It's got to be something from God. But normally, and I've been like that for so many years. I haven't been on social media. I never came out against Teddy and Aaron publicly. Never, and said anything. For all these years. Why is that? Because I felt like, okay, listen, if that's what they need to live off of, fine. God has blessed me. I'm good. Yeah. Every song that they play, every song that they put out, every song other artists can do or whatever, I have to sign off on it. Period. So if what makes your boat float is to tell these different stories, okay, that's cool with you. Just don't keep telling them about me. And that's what irked me. If you want to tell a different story about the group or how the group was formed or whatever, but when you start talking about how Timmy left the group, how Timmy did this, how Gene told Timmy this, that's bullshit. First of all, I wasn't that type of kid. I didn't care. Gene was a gangster, but so was my family. I didn't give a fuck about Gene like that. I liked him and loved him because he was that father figure that was fly. But I used to yell at Gene. I'm 16, 17, said, that ain't true. I used to talk like that. So Gene never smacked me up. Gene ain't never put his hands on me because my family and the crew in my block would have been down in that office. Gene knew it. Teddy knew it. I didn't come from that, just a little kid that wasn't connected. Anybody could get it, whether you good or bad, anybody could get it. I never would, and Gene saw that confidence in me even then. So what do you do when a person has a group and now you want to take over the group? The first thing anybody do, just like businesses, corporations, whatever, when a takeover comes, you get rid of the old staff. You bring in your crew.
Yeah. Gene
had to get rid of me because he felt like I had too much influence over Teddy and Aaron, and he was right. I just didn't know it was gonna be that easy.
Yeah.
And it was easy.
Yeah. But I think one of the things you sort of summarize towards the end is very much a story of destiny, as much as because the gifting to create the songs and the sound and the vision of everything and how it was taken away. But you've always maintained that God has been behind you in everything, and that if they couldn't have taken it away without him saying, I know what I'm doing for you in the long run. And so that's the narrative I've received from listening to your whole stories, that you had God on your side all this time and he knew what was happening for the bigger purpose for yourself and family and everything. And that's been amazing to hear, as much as you admitted it was tough then, but being able to reflect now.
Woo! It was so tough. If it wasn't for my wife, if it wasn't for close friends, if it wasn't for my partner, Alton Wilkie Stewart, who I gotta say, they always lift me up. Because I was still a little damaged, even when I was writing hits. I was still writing hits for these people. And a lot of times my partner had to say, hey, Tim, shake that shit off. I got you. It was you. Prove it was you. Write these hits.
Yeah.
And that was part of what brought me through. And my mother and my family, they was like, listen, this, I ain't gonna say what they said, but anyway, it was like, yo, this is what we do. Yeah. We got it. Yeah. And even though I like to move smooth, like I like to move quietly but deadly. I've always been that way. Yeah. I've always been that way, where you think I'm flashy to a sense of I love to dress. When you see me, I can wear the expensive jewelry and I could not wear it. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah. But when I show up, you know, who is this? And then you find out, oh, this is this person. Why haven't I heard from him before? Why haven't I done this before? Yeah. And so I've always moved that way.
Yeah.
So I'm not one to, oh, look at me. Look at my suit. Look at all the music I did. Look at all of this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I've never been that way. So it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. It's been a great track back in memory, but it's been inspiring to hear for a lot of people who, if we have setbacks, and it could be tough. You mentioned Joseph, just, you know, if you have your faith, really rely on that, because it you know, I think Donnie McClurkin says that we fall down, but we get up.
We get up.
Yeah, and so it's really inspiring to hear that.
He's in the hospital right now, so prayers up for
Donnie. Definitely. So I really appreciate your time. You know,
thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
All right, thanks.
And thank Elise for making it happen.
Yeah, Elise, yeah.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, the founder of Kool and the Gang, Robert Bell, passed away.
Oh man, the bass player.
Bell, yeah, he was 68.
Wow, that bass player. That's another legend that I got my bass licks from.
Wow.
So simple. If you listen to the Kool and the Gang when they came back with JT,
Yeah.
bass line so simple. Ladies' Night, Too Hot, Celebration.
Cherish, yeah.
Bass line so simple but so significant.
Wow.
So simple. So I didn't know that, at least, but
Wow.
rest in peace, Robert Cool Bell. That's my boy.
I just read it on the internet. So yeah, it's very sad. I've seen them in concert over 30 times.
Wow. Love them. Well, I love you guys.
Yeah.
Gotta get ready. Take a nap and then get back to work. But thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks
Thank you. All right, Ali.
See you
Okay,
later.
bye.